me crow about magic. I told the line just to dine, 'cause no gal cooks like mine. My chop me days are done, like pig's feet jars I've spun. I pine for that meal bell china, 'cause no gal cooks like mine. No gal cooks like mine. No gal cooks like mine. No gal cooks like mine.
Hi, this is Rik Palieri, and welcome to another chapter in the Songwriter's Notebook. And I tell you, folks, we are going to have what we call a big time. A big time. We're going to have a big time right here in the VCAM studio, because we are pleased to have the Starline Rhythm Boys right here. And we are going to share some stories about the old days and the new days, because this is like an anniversary kind of show. So we're going to talk about the early days and also about the things that are coming up today for this really talented group. One of the favorite groups of the area, and they've got the Daisy Awards to prove it. So why don't we kind of start a little bit, Billy Bratcher, Danny Cohn, Al Emery. We're just really glad to have you here, and I just wanted to kind of turn back the clock, because I was reading some of those old interviews, about the group, and I heard about the group starting because of an impromptu sing-along to Swinging Doors.
Exactly right. Yeah. You tell this the best.
Sorta, yeah.
Well, I don't know, we'd all played in band, other bands and stuff. I'd been in a group called the Throbulators. These guys were in a group called Buck and the Black Cats, and even music even before then. Billy's breaking out the pictures to prove it.
This is proof that Danny was in a band called the Throbulators, right there, ladies and gentlemen.
All right.
It's a great shot from about 1988, I believe it was, 87.
Yeah. Somewhere right in there.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we played, and Billy was on the road with Wayne Hancock, Wayne the Train Hancock, touring around the country, working out of Texas, but going all around. Came home, his wife was expecting their first child, Calvin. He's 20 years old now, right?
Yep.
And anyway, Billy came back, and he wanted to continue to play some, so he got a hold of me and was just curious if I was doing anything, and the same with Al. And we were both a little slack at the time, we had some music, but not much. So Billy says, come on over to the house, and over to the apartment, and let's just sit around and pick. And so this is what we did. And we said, like Al had his electric guitar, the acoustic, Billy had his bass.
Which would become the room where Calvin would, that's his first bedroom, had a Seabird jukebox in it, and all these 50s rock and roll movie posters and all that, and a crib, cribs in there, and that's where we would rehearse. So then when the baby came along, we had to move into the other room.
That's right.
What was it about this song, Swinging Doors?
That's just the thing. We were just, we got together, and we had a beer, whatever's going on, and said, well, what do you want to do? Kind of a song, and I don't know, Swinging Doors.
Me and Billy had already gone over Swinging Doors before Danny got there. Yeah. I don't even know if you knew this, but I sang it. And when you came in, we just started doing it, and you just started singing. I said, okay, he'll sing it.
Al's got a better memory.
I jumped in with a wicked harmony on it, and we all looked at each other and said,
this sounds
one
great.
Song. This is a band.
Do you think you have a taste of it for the audience? Have you played that in a while?
Let's play it right now,
real
quick.
Yeah.
This is the first song we ever learned. Play it, Al.
Right.
This old smoke-filled bar is something I'm not used to, but I gave up my home to see you satisfied, and I just call let you know where I'll be living. It's not much, but I feel welcome here inside. I've got swinging doors, a jukebox, and a bar stool.
I mean, I think that this sound was probably unusual for its time here in Vermont. Were you one of the first groups that was doing this?
We're
or?
still the only one can accept no limitations. You know, those they get out there and try, but they just don't have. I don't mean to sound, but it's the rhythm. I think it's
Right.
him and I are locked so tight on the rhythm.
And with Al, see, the thing is, it was like, okay, so we did this, and it was the old school, like with the bass and the acoustic guitar and this, and it said, man, this sounds great. And there's a lot of power in just this three here.
Yeah.
Plus the
Why
singing.
add anything else to it?
Yeah.
Except for on a special occasion, we'll throw in a steel player, a fiddle player, or something, you know.
Right.
Now, Billy, there was a lot of the talk in that interview about somebody. Was it Joe White? Was that it?
Joe, which interview? There's a lot of interviews. Which
Yeah,
one do you
but
mean?
one of the early people who influenced you. Is that correct? Or maybe I have the name
As a
wrong.
songwriter, or
I think as a musician.
I can't remember. There's been
Okay.
a lot of them. But as far as the bass goes, I was listening to Elvis records, trying to pick up that slap thing. What was going on? I just didn't understand that. When you listen to them records, it sounds like a drum.
Right.
Nobody understands it.
So when I figured out that the Sun Sessions didn't include a drummer, I'm like, what is that? And it turned out to be this magical thing called slap bass that I just absolutely love. And I listened to that thing forever, just trying to figure it out. And finally, I just got it. It just clicked, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then when I clicked, it was time to go on the road and play a little bit with Wayne out of Texas, and then have these guys.
Well,
come over.
What were those first gigs like? Now, what was it? Let's turn back the clock. What year were you starting this?
1998.
Tiger out of a cage, man. It was
1998.
we were ready to come out and play.
I think our opener was for Danny's old band, the Throbulators. We only had 11, 12 songs. So
Yeah, the Higher Ground nightclub here in Burlington, or in Winooski at the time, was brand new, and it was real exciting. A lot of good things we could tell were going to be happening out of that place. And Kevin Stater, an old friend of ours, was running the show over there, and he always liked Danny. I've known Kevin back in the hotel business I was in, working with him back in the late '80s. So we're friends with the guy that opens up the new nightclub. Let's get Danny's old band in here, the Throbulators, as kind of a reunion gig, and have you guys open up for Danny.
They don't
Al and I are like, open up for Danny. Wait a minute.
I know, it was weird. And, you know, they'd only been open for maybe a couple of weeks. This is the original Higher Ground.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is what they hadn't really had much in there, and so we did this, and we opened for the Throbulators, and then the next night we opened for Breakaway, which was a good bluegrass
Yeah.
band at the time.
I don't even remember that one.
Yeah.
So you know, those are the first two gigs, and we first got together in February at Billy's apartment, and then had some other. We decided, well, let's get together again and stuff, and then I don't know. The first club date was.
Red Square, I think.
No, I think we might have played Metronome or something
Okay.
upstairs.
Yeah.
But basically, the first sort of real club thing was Red Square in the October of '98, and we've played there every year since.
20 years.
Wow. Now, you know, you kind of have this rockabilly sound going on here, which once again is not something that a lot of people were doing. So you were bringing that kind of audience, but you also have a background in bluegrass, kind of.
Right, and honky tonk.
And
so
honky
really,
tonk?
people describe us as a rockabilly band, and we can lay that stuff down. And this instrumentation is almost the original rockabilly stuff. Some of that real early stuff didn't have
It
the
is.
drums.
This is it.
Well, before
So-
we get into
Yeah.
doing, Billy's music, which I really want to talk about,
Absolutely.
why don't you give us a real, old rockabilly classic?
Juke Joint Johnny from our first CD.
Yeah, okay,
right
this
here.
is one right here.
We recorded this in 1999. Go.
You know, I'll give you a little bass job on this, just a little bit.
Make
okay?
it quick.
Okay.
All right, here we go.
Well, I called my baby at 2:45. Down at the juke joint, she's waiting for me. I'm a juke joint Johnny, and I can't go. I'm a juke joint Johnny, and a juke joint's all I know. Well, I'm slipping and sliding and staying in, but I'll have fun come this weekend. I'm a juke joint Johnny, blue as I can be. I'm a juke joint Johnny, and a juke joint's where you find me. Al, just take a little bit here. Get out of it, boy. Yeah. All right. Here we go. Hey, let's have that bass now.
know which way to find me.
Hot dog.
My sleeve got in the way. I should have buttoned up before that solo. I got a little messed up, but
Wow.
that's the idea of rockabilly.
That's
There's no
it.
purer sound in American music than rockabilly.
Yeah, I was waiting for you to ride that bass, but we'll have to wait
Good.
for
You gotta-
it.
you gotta move
We'll
over.
get to that. We'll get to that. So, you know, you were covering a lot of these classics, and then, Billy, you started writing.
Started writing
So
some songs.
let's
right
talk a little bit about that, because a lot of people, myself included, I didn't until I started reading some of those interviews that you've done. I didn't realize that you were the primary songwriter of the group.
Yeah, I don't know how many I've written for the band, but we've recorded just about all the good ones. So there's some throwaway stuff. But it's all about stuff that we know, you know. You write about what you know. I know about love loss, breakups. I know about life in a honky-tonk, and so does Al, because he grew up in a honky-tonk, literally.
Literally.
You know, cars, all the typical subject. But the thing is you got to put a twist on your lyrics. You got to make them uniquely your own, and or else you're going to sound like everybody else. So I think Danny can vouch for some of my lyrics that they're not run of the mill. They're pretty clever.
Well, I think that, you know, knowing you the way that I've been learning about you, I know that your deep respect, you know, for the classics, for going back and doing the research, doing the work. So you really know what the genre is all about. You really know from listening to all the old 78s, listening to all the old records of how these songs work.
Oh,
and I think, you know, and not only that, but you're the historian of
Danny
the group.
Is too. Danny,
you know,
I
I
mean,
mean,
they both know a lot, but it's about what do you think people can relate to? You know, I mean, what someone in the bar room can sing along to. So I wrote a song called "I'm Fed Up Drinking Here." It has a sing-along number. You know what I mean? It's perfect, end of the night kind of song. And then there's a song about you know, kind of there's one song called "The Tavern Parking Lot." That's a really good one, I think, and. I just kind of try to take the conduit back to like maybe my father back in his hell-raising days when he was flipping Fords coming over from the New York line or back to Vermont, which he did. He did. I thought, geez, he must have been really kind of a real Johnny Cash guy. So I kind of wrote a song with him in mind, you know. But it's a cool little tune, you know.
why don't you give us a taste of one of these that, you know?
Yeah, the Tavern Parking Lot. You want to give it a whirl? Just a little bit of that. Sure, we can.
Pray for us.
Listen, this is a good one. It's called the Tavern Parking Lot. Ready?
You don't have a cape on for this one?
Well, yeah, you know, we try to stay away from these capos.
That's the folk guys.
Well, that's a folk
Country guys do it too.
You understand that, Rick,
Oh
right?
yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, my friend, that's good
1,
enough.
2.
There's a sign in my sight, throwing glow to a lonesome night. It says drink and wink at Leo's lucky spot. Take a road to backstreet travel, 'cause lust on loose gravel is famous in the tavern parking lot. I'll touch down on them stones in a galaxy of chrome. That Ford can thicken a cheater's plot. No wedding vows are safe if they place their faith at the dark side of the tavern parking lot.
Can you see it?
Yeah, I can see it. I can see it. I
And
can
it's a
feel it.
successful number.
And you know, the other thing that your group has that a lot of groups don't have is style. You know,
That's a
I
good
mean, no,
point.
I'm talking about this visual impact
Yeah.
of when you're on stage, you really present this kind of an image that really reflects the music much more than a lot of groups. And you not only do that, but you spend a lot of time doing that. So I wanted to just talk about that a little bit. You know, Billy, how did that come about?
Oh, I think that think that we saw the people that we love, the Buck Owens and the Merle Haggards and the Wynn Stewarts, especially those guys out of the Bakersfield area, wearing the beautiful suits designed by Nudie with all the rhinestones. We could never afford anything like that, of course, but for the bigger shows, we'll try to get as close as we possibly can. We've had matching shirts made for us for bigger shows and things like that. This is KDK out of Nashville right here that made this.
It looks like some rhinestones over there.
There's rhinestones, yeah, but I mean, if you look at one of the suits designed by Nudie rodeo tailors, you're talking major rhinestones.
Well, you have a vintage one behind you over there.
Oh yeah, that is a real one right there. But again, it lacks what Nudie was. But we're kind of in the same.
Well, I mean, I think that
same avenue.
You look at some of the early suits that were, when I did that interview with Manuel, and he talked about that, and the most important thing he said to me, he said, Rick, it's not that a lot of these musicians wanted to wear these outfits; they did it out of respect
for their audience.
Yeah. That's right. They did it out of respect,
and it separates the audience is important. They're listening to your music. We love them. But it separates the artist from the audience. The audience isn't dressing this way. The artists are dressing this way. Okay.
You
and
see
it's a
somebody
show.
and you go, he's in the band.
That's right.
You know right away. He's in the band.
And I'm not seeing that today. Young people today got a whole different image thing that they're doing, and whatever they're doing. But this is what we're doing. And we grew up with this. We love it. And Al's got, we all have beautiful shoes or boots. Al's got all kinds of two-tone shoes.
I got 23 pairs now.
pairs of
shoes. And people see that and go, wow, look at the shoes. And it's
they love it.
Well, it shows you care.
Yeah,
I mean,
and we do.
It's
we
all
do
about
care.
it's all about that. I didn't understand that until I started meeting with people like Manuel, who really explained it to me. And once I heard that it was really about showing respect for the hard-working people who come to your shows.
Exactly.
They need a fantasy. They need something that's going to take them away from that factory job that they're working, or that that really difficult moment at home. They need to be taken away, and that's one of the ways that you do it. Now, one of the things that's happening right now is this anniversary. So let's talk about that. All right.
Sure.
So who wants to talk about what's going on right now?
We're just still going at it. I don't know what to tell you. I mean, we still are doing this music we love, adding material. We haven't had a lot of much original stuff, in the last few years, but we may start doing that. And
So how many years total now?
20 years.
20 years.
Yeah.
So this is the big one, folks.
We never would have expected, the first year that we were together, that this was going to go on for 20 years.
No.
Had no idea.
What kind of things do you have coming up to celebrate this big anniversary?
Well, we've had some big shows this summer, but we have especially this fall in Bennington, the end of October. Forget that date, Billy. Is it 27th?
Old Castle Theater.
At the
Before
Old
my
Castle,
mom's birthday.
the Old Castle Theater in Bennington. We did this before in 2015, and we'll have 3 other players on that show.
6-piece band that night.
With a fiddle, steel, and a drummer, a small kit for that one.
And then a week later, we go over to Randolph at the
Chandler Music Hall. We're doing the big, and that's going to be with 5 with fiddle, just fiddle and steel. So we've got some of those, and we have some other ones in
Red
addition.
Square.
we have a kind of an offshoot
right.
party at Red Square on October 12th that we'd like to have a lot of people come out and celebrate, because that's a club that's had us in there for 20 years. So that's going to be
And
a fun
that's
little
almost
thing.
exactly the date when we did it. Was a
Yeah,
Friday.
we're trying to get our producer Sean Mencher to come over and celebrate with us. He's a great Travis picker.
Now, one of the things, folks, that you can go, they have a website.
StarlineRhythmBoys.com.
Right. We'll put that up on the
YouTube.
screen later on, so that if you're interested in learning more about the band, about their history, about where they came from and where they're going to, you can check that out, as well as find out about the recordings and find out more about the band. You might just want to be a follower, and you probably have a Facebook page too.
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah,
We keep it up to date pretty good.
I know. You guys are really keeping busy.
Yeah.
So I'm going to keep you busy right now, and we're going to get you to do another song. What you want to do something a little bit different. But I want to see you, really do that riding your bass thing.
Wow, I can do that. I don't know if the camera guy's going to be on it. But we
Might knock that camera guy down.
Smart thinking.
Well, we could do a rockabilly number or a really
Yeah.
nice, sweet kind of country
Whatever
number. Let's
you
do
like.
Masquerade. I can
We
get
have
crazy.
enough-
Masquerade for Heartache is a great song that I wrote for, for a friend of mine. It's a long story.
I just want to say, too, Rick, I want to just add, about Billy's songwriting. One thing I love about this is his lyrics. It's not formula Nashville, okay? He's not writing formula Nashville stuff. I mean, we've heard all that stuff, and there's some clever tunes and stuff, play on words and stuff. But really, his writing is really even deeper, or it's just a whole different approach. But it's great.
Yeah.
So that's one of the distinct things about
Well,
it.
I mean, he's writing right in that same kind of
Harlan
genre.
Howard. Harlan Howard is just the idea of keeping a song to 2 verses and a chorus.
Yeah.
A couple, So I
And
think
the
about
truth.
that.
And the truth. 3
Three
chords and the truth.
That's
So
it.
if you follow that, my friends, you too can be it. But you got to live it too. You got to
gotta
live
live
the
it.
life.
Yeah.
You can't fake this music.
All right.
People
So this is
figure
one
it
of
out.
Billy's called Masquerade for Heartache.
I'm no stranger to the bad side of luck. Reading all of Joe's driving beer trucks.
Sitting behind their product for my sake, pretending I'm no fool, spending hours on the stool,
Looking for a masquerade for heartache.
One night I heard her feel
Partings included in love's deal.
the wedding rings I thought would stay are in a pawn shop today.
That's why I live this masquerade.
Get on.
All right, Billy.
Yeah.
He's going wild, folks. He's going
going
wild.
wild
We are
here.
just having, like I said in the beginning of the show, we are having a big time here
We
today.
are.
All we need is a little small bar in there. That's all we need.
We are, Rick. Thank you.
Oh
All right.
boy, this is so much fun. Now you all kind of alternate a lot on singing things, and Al, I haven't heard you sing too much on
Just
any of the-
harmonies.
do you have anything that you
He's
do?
great.
Let's do Us. You Don't Live Here No More.
All right.
Real quick.
He's a great lead singer. Trust me.
All right.
Here we go.
This is a song I wrote for our Honky Tonk Living CD, I believe it is, right here. Ready?
No, I never stole a thing or been on a drinking spree. Once I felt a bee sting. You never heard a cuss from me. And I've always been a good neighbor to the old man next door. Now I'm asking you, my savior, why don't she live here no more? My hand to the book, I'm living like you should be too. Since she's no place to look, I'm leaning heavy on you. So please handle with care my loneliness. You can't ignore, 'cause at this address it's everywhere. 'Cause he don't live here no more. At this address, it's everywhere. 'Cause she don't live here no more. More.
Whee. Now, I think that it'd be really kind of cool if we kind of take just a moment for you to thank your fans.
I thought we were going to take a moment of silence to remember like Ernest Tubb or something.
No, I think,
That's what I thought.
Well, I think that without the fans, you know how that is.
Without the folks.
Without the folks coming to your show
We
for 20 years.
We love our fans, and all of them, and we've got some real special ones that have come for years and years and years, and we appreciate them very much.
We especially like the ones that stay at the end and help us with equipment. Those are the ones we really like.
They know who they are.
We love them all, and they know who we're talking about. They know who they are.
Yeah, I think it's important for the folks to understand that we really do appreciate all of the fans that come out, you know, to show after show after show, because none of us would have any type of a career if it wasn't for those fans. And I think that, you know, especially when you have a group that's been out on the road, you know, for 20 years, that a lot of it is because of all you folks who've been supporting them. So I just like to thank you guys too. And do you have a song that you think that?
Yeah, we want to thank you. You know,
Well, give us a little minute here.
Yeah.
How about we're going to end the show right here?
Yeah,
Is
we're
the show
going
coming?
to end the show.
Thinking?
So I wanted to just see if you could do a song that you felt really represents your band.
Well, you can't, because you got honky tonk, you got
we got so many different.
rockabilly.
Well, if you had somebody said to you, you've got to do a song that represents.
Personally, I think it might be something like "Under Your Spell" by Buck Owens.
Well, do it.
Because that's a little bit of a nod to someone that we absolutely love. All right, so Buck Owens.
And we got the Buck Owens thing going
That's
on.
right.
All right.
Here we go.
2, 3, 4, 1.
You've got me under your spell again, saying those things again.
You're making me believe that you're just mine.
You've got me dreaming those dreams again, scheming those schemes again.
I got to take you back just one more time. Well, I swore the last time that you let me down that I wouldn't see you if you came around. But I can't tell my heart was right or wrong, and I've been so lonely since you've been gone.
You've got me under your spell again, saying those things again.
You're making me believe that you're just mine.
You've got me dreaming those dreams again, scheming those schemes again.
I got to take you back just one more time.
You know, it was really great to have the Starline Rhythm Boys here on the Songwriter's Notebook, and you can go to their website, find out more information. And as we're going out, give us another little bit of that song.
Smart thinking. How about that?
Well, she's a dandy, sweet-eyed candy. I want to hold her tight to she's a granny, and that ain't loose, start stirring. Buy some little old drink. Yeah! Just a mind with a solid lock. Go smart thinking. At the Polarama, full panorama, rolling, strolling, has been striking mama by the 10th frame mile. Heart singing. Just stay in the mother lanes is